Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of East Meets West, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy over there, Conrado. It's your boy right here, Opinionated MJ. We back. What? This is a special Valkyries edition, Golden State Valkyries edition, expansion edition of the episode. May I add? How you feeling today, Conrado? How's it going?
Excellent. Like I said, everything's on the up and up. Now that we know for sure that we're getting a WNBA season, and
Thank
man,
God.
everything is coming really quickly,
Yeah.
right? Like everything. That's actually why we're here today. You
Mhm.
know, in the upcoming days, teams are going to have to submit a list of players that they are going to protect from the upcoming expansion draft. The expansion draft will take place just next week. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
I believe next week, right? And then
Yep.
like
The
what,
third,
two and a half,
third,
3 weeks,
I think
right?
Thursday or
Yeah,
Friday. Friday. I'm sorry.
yeah, late next week, and then the following week, technically, I believe it becomes like the official start of
Mhm.
free agency, and then just a week after that, we have the actual WNBA college draft or the WNBA draft.
Mhm.
So yeah, things are coming very quickly, which makes
Mhm.
it exciting, but
Yeah.
could also make it a little bit chaotic. But chaos can
Yeah.
be fun.
Yeah. I love chaos too. And that means there's gonna be a lot of media coming. So before we even jump into it, man, get subscribe right now, please. We at 798. We trying to get to a thou wow, but we'll be happy with 800. So two of y'all just subscribe real quick. Um, but
Very
yeah,
nice.
so starting off with the expansion draft, like how do you feel about like what the Valkyries have and what they can keep, what they can't, what's protected, what's unprotected. Like, because I'm kind of scared about Maria. She should be protected, shouldn't she? She's on a
We'll
rookie
get to
scale.
that. We'll talk
Yeah.
about that. We'll
Okay,
talk
go
about
ahead.
that.
Go
But
ahead.
with regards to the Valkyries, I mean, it's interesting. I think it's definitely a fair sentiment from certain people, like certain fans, segment of the fan base that feel that it's a little bit unfair for a team that just had their inaugural year
Yeah.
to immediately be subject to the expansion draft. Like, it's almost kind of counterproductive, right? Like,
Yeah.
how is a team that's only in year two supposed to continue or supposed to build continuity if they're also going to get
Facts.
pillaged,
That's
right? So
true.
I think it's definitely
Get
fair.
pillaged.
I mean, for lack of a better term, I mean, that's
Yeah.
essentially what's going to happen, right?
Right.
Now, if anyone, like if any of you or if you guys have followed me on Twitter, I think you kind of know my sentiment about the expansion draft. And I've said it multiple times. I don't really believe the expansion draft is the boogeyman in the sense that like it's like the be all end all, right, with regards to roster building. And I say that mainly because name me one team in WNBA history, one team that that has returned the exact same 12 players from the previous year. It's just not going to happen. As especially to
No.
right, barring any trades, most teams have two, maybe even three draft picks, right, in this upcoming draft. So let's just say hypothetically you wanted to bring your picks onto the main roster. That means someone's got to go,
Right.
right? So for some teams, I just feel like it's an opportunity to kind of mitigate a potential logjam. Some other teams, it's an opportunity to kind of reset your books, you know?
Yeah.
And frankly, I think it actually, in a way, forces teams like the current 13 teams to focus, right? It gives you an opportunity to truly focus both your cap space, like, prioritizing your cap space on certain players, but also developmental time, you
Right.
know, because even when you have a full roster, let's say you have 12 healthy players aren't going to be getting consistent playing
Man,
time,
yeah.
you know? So, I mean, I'm just saying, I feel like there is, I wouldn't say a silver lining, but I think there is some merit, even for the 13 teams who may see some players leave, and don't get me wrong. I think it's good that if, you're a fan, you're a diehard fan of your team, and you have built that connection with your like a certain player, that's cool, right? But in all likelihood, if they're unprotected, if they're left unprotected, there are probably reasons for that. Like maybe they're not as high in the pecking order with regards to role or usage. So maybe your favorite player could end up on another team, one of these expansion teams, and get a bigger role, right? And you get to see them, thrive in a capacity that maybe their current team can't provide. So, I mean, that's just my general feeling towards the expansion draft. I don't think it has to be as scary as some
the boogeyman
and me. Yeah, I mean, that's
Freddy
how it's
Krueger.
described. Like, oh,
Right.
you only get to protect 5 players. I mean, like, dude, it's cool.
Yeah.
But going over it, I guess before we talk about like the Valkyries themselves, just kind of like going over some rules. MJ and I we try to keep things very lighthearted. In other words, that's a way of saying that we didn't actually make any official graphics for this show.
Right, not yet. I'm already trust. It's funny that you brought that up because I'm thinking of them right now. Like you just mentioned the 5, and I'm thinking of a graphic that's like I doubt it's a picture of somebody that's holding up a piece of paper that's like a contract, and it's a pink slip, and they got to walk out. But yeah,
right.
This is better. This is better.
I mean, just hear our friends, courtesy of our friends at Underdog WNBA. I mean, these are like, again, I think if you're tuning in, you've probably already come across some of the rules for the expansion draft. But basically, the key things to know is so basically the 13 current teams, that's the Valkyries included, they'll have to submit a list of the five players that they are going to protect. They have to submit that list by this Sunday, March 29. But tomorrow, Friday, March 27. So we're recording this Thursday, March 26th evening. But on Friday, March 27, representatives from Portland and Toronto, they're going to have a coin flip, right? The winner of the coin flip, they get to choose whether they want the first pick of the expansion draft or if they want to pick 6th in the actual WNBA draft. Because remember, again, another rule that I have never been a fan of, I just don't understand it. Expansion teams do not get any shot. They do not get any lottery odds, right? So expansion teams in their inaugural year, just like the Valkyries last year, they had to pick after the lottery. They get the first pick after the lottery. But since we're introducing 2 new teams this season, this coin flip will determine which of them who gets the 6th pick, who gets the 7th overall pick. So there you go. I mean, I personally have my opinions on that. Again, I guess you could already kind of tell. I don't. It's not that I don't value the expansion draft. I just think, again, with the actual WNBA draft, you're getting a player who's, again, under team control for up to, 3, potentially 6 years, depending on, right? Like in terms of if you maximize all the extension eligibility. So kind of getting ahead of myself there, but still, I think there's merit either way. So yeah. So with that said, as it pertains to the Valkyries, there we go. They can only protect 5 players.
Right.
And so I think that is what the crux of this episode will be. Again, if you followed MJ and I on Twitter, we've already kind of shared some of our feelings about some of the players we would like to see protected, some that we think will be protected. But just to kind of go over some stuff. So in terms of who can the Valkyries actually protect? Well, basically, they are protecting any player who finished the season on their roster in some capacity. Now, what does that mean? Either they're currently still under contract, they are a restricted free agent, they finish the season on the Valkyries roster, so they are an unrestricted free agent, or
only one,
it's a player.
Only one, I think.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying who is eligible
to
be protected, right? And then finally, if the Valkyries have some form of reserve or draft rights on a player. So our friends here at SpoTrack, just to kind of lay it out there.
Hey, shout out SpoTrack.
You can kind of see. Right. Just kind of like lay it out there for the fans. There we go. I don't know if you can see that. You might have to zoom in. I'll try to make it a little bit bigger. But there you go.
Yeah.
So basically, again,
even more if you can, and make it where it's like just the if you can. I'm not sure if you can. Yeah, boom. There we go.
There you go. But basically, yeah. I mean, I think most fans and even like, non-Valkyries fans, you're kind of familiar with some of the big names of, the more recognizable names that finished uh, last season on the Valks roster. So, Tiffany
13,000.
Hayes, Kayla Thornton, Monique Billings, Veronica Burton, Chichelia Zendalicini, Temi Fagbenle, Carla Late, Kate Martin, Janelle Salon, Leticia Amihir, Caitlin Chen, Ileana Rupert, Kyla Charles, and again,
My
if you
girl.
have the
Our
rights,
girl.
the resites or the
The
draft rights on
results.
a player. So in this case, we do. That one player being Maria Conde.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really interesting. It's interesting in terms of how teams want to go about protecting players. So I mean, right off the bat, I'll just say that it's kind of interesting with regards to how you want to go about it. Now, in all likelihood, if you have a player who you believe is like truly a core piece, and I want to say, don't get that confused with like core player, like someone you're going to core designate, right? But someone that is like a potential franchise building block or a franchise player. If this were like, say, the Indiana Fever or the Chicago Sky, Indiana Fever with Caitlin Clark, or the Chicago Sky with Angel Reese, those are no-brainers, right? I would say, right, the Valkyries, again, that's where the question comes into play. Do they have someone of that caliber? Maybe, maybe not. But let's go one tier down. You can make an argument they have a franchise building block. Now, I think that player would be Veronica Burton. When you think about it too, now again, she will be, I believe,
She's still so young. Good Lord.
Yeah.
24?
She will be a free agent. So I mean, she's one of the players who definitely warrants protection, in general. Not even just from the two expansion teams, but from the rest of the league. So there's that. And then of course, right, I think a lot of teams will prioritize players who are currently on their rookie scale contracts. Again, right, you're on a rookie scale, so not only are you under team control, you're also cost controlled, right? I mean, it's still, again, I wouldn't say like an insignificant fraction of the salary cap, but again, relatively speaking, if you have players who are on a rookie scale contract, especially if they're starters, I mean, that brings a lot of value, with regards to not just like the on-court product, but with regards to maintaining cap space. So yeah, bunch of things there. With regards to the new rules or the overall rules, as we said, right, unlike last year, because it was only the Valkyries picking, this time teams can only protect up to 5 players. Or you're protecting 5 players. The difference from last year, though, is for unrestricted free agents, right? If one of the expansion teams, being Toronto or Portland, again, they are limited to drafting only one unrestricted free agent. Okay, so let's just put that out there. Now, what does that entail? If they draft an unrestricted free agent, what does that allow them to do? What that allows them to do is for the player, the unrestricted free agent that they draft, right? Toronto or Portland, they're the only teams that can offer a supermax contract to that player. They're the only teams. But here's the thing, because again, agency means a player has the ability to actually control their future. They have autonomy, right? In the contractual negotiation process. So that player can still say no. Right? Because the other non-expansion teams, they could say, if they have the cap space, they say, we could offer you the regular max. They just can't offer the super max. So again, in my opinion, I look at
Jordan Canada
teams. Yeah, I look at the expansion teams like they're essentially getting a jump on free agency.
Yeah.
And it's a significant, but not a deal breaker. It's a significant advantage to try to entice high level players. So all of this is to say is, again, which unrestricted free agents do you think teams need to protect in order to maintain, again, the core of the roster that they're trying to build? Now, again, other teams have different prerogatives. They're at different stages, right, of, again, team building and being a contender. For the Valkyries, again, did they overachieve in year one? I would say yes. Yes. But again, they're still building. Let's not let early success kind of cloud the way they look at it or how fans should look at it, right? I mean, this is still a process. So I have my list. Michael, you saw it earlier today. I have my list of who I believe the Valkyries will protect. I guess I could share that real quick.
Yeah, and I have all the unrestricted free agents too, right here in my face too. I don't know if you want me to go down the whole list. It's a lot, but
for the Valkyries,
for the Valkyries too. Yep, I have them too. I have all of them.
This we'll just focus on the Valkyries today.
Okay, well, for the Valkyries, it's just Tiffany Hayes, Kayla Thornton, sadly, Monique Billings, and Timmy Fagbinlay.
So those are the unrestricted free agents.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So with that said, I mean, again, if you saw this probably earlier today, cool, it's not news. I think a lot of people kind of had similar sentiments or kind of similar picks as I did. Let me see if I can pull this up, but just for here you go. Yes, I searched my own Twitter profile.
I do too. No, you're not the only one.
There you go. Literally, this is what MJ retweeted earlier today. And this wasn't even an official tweet. I was just responding to someone. But yeah, I think, in my opinion, I think there are 4 players that are locks to be protected.
Yeah.
Well, at the very least, I'd say there are 3 that are locks. I still think there are 4. Those 4 being Veronica Burton. I think that's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer. Janelle Salon. Yeah. Right. MJ Superstar. Yes. Carla Late, my superstar. Right. Yusuke Yoshite.
Yep.
Now, the 5th and final spot, or protection, that is, I think you can make a case for 2 to 3 players. Right. Those 2 to 3 players, let's just say 3 players. Those 3 players being Ileana Rupert, who I listed. I think you could also list Cecilia Zandalicini.
Yeah, I would think so too.
Right. And then the last one, Michael mentioned her earlier in this episode, Maria Conde, right? Spanish forward, Spanish wing, Maria Conde. I think if anyone tuned in, if you tuned in to the FIBA World Cup qualifiers, you saw her absolutely freaking lighting it up, right? I mean, she came off the bench, but my God, her points per possession, her points per minute were insane, and again, while she is known for like her explosive electric scoring, you see just how dynamic of a playmaker she is. Make no mistake. This is where, again, even though I don't want to be hypocritical, this is kind of where I wish there were 6 protection spots.
Yeah. It should at least be half. It should be. I think it should be.
Or again, if you're one of like the Valkyries fans who think we shouldn't even be subject to this expansion draft, I totally understand, But having said that,
and then 2 teams doing it. You know what I mean? So that means like, sheesh.
Well,
bro,
again, the maximum that the max players that can be
taken is just
taken from each team. The max is 2.
Oh, just 1. Oh,
no, 2
per team is 2,
no,
or is
total.
It just? Yeah. Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say it's 2 per. Like Toronto could get 2 from them, but it's just 1 and 1.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. There is from Toronto and Portland side, like I said, for the Valkyries, all they got to know is who they're protecting, who they're not.
Right.
And all they know is that at most 2 players are leaving. Yeah. But there is a new rule now for Toronto and Portland, right? So not only is the draft snake order for them, but it's interesting. Say, for example, Michael, you are Toronto's GM and I'm Portland, and you get the first pick. and you pick a player from the Valkyries, then for the remainder of the first round, I can't pick a player from the Valkyries.
Oh, that's boss.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like, for example, you pick from the Valkyries, cool. Then I pick from Washington, cool. Now you cannot pick for the remainder of the first round. You cannot pick from Washington. See? So you go back and forth, back and forth. But when we hit the second round, if you so happen, if the Valkyries have not had a player selected, in theory, you could take 2 players from the Valkyries.
Right.
I
Oh,
could
wait,
take 2 players
what?
from Washington. Yeah.
Oh my God. That's
So it makes so for
that's
them,
wild. That's wild.
there is definitely some strategy and some gamesmanship. But again, for us, for the 13 current teams, no, right? We just need to know who are we for sure protecting, and then the rest, 2 of you at most, are leaving via the expansion draft at most. But as I was kind of saying, somewhat seriously and somewhat sarcastically earlier today on Twitter, I was saying, in theory, because get this, right? There are 13 current teams.
Yeah.
But Toronto and Portland, they will be making each team will be making a maximum of 12 picks. 12 picks from 13 teams.
Right.
So a few teams will have less than 2 players selected.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
And frankly, there is a possibility that a team could actually have no player selected. Which is kind of sad if you really think about it. It kind of says the state of your depth chart, but whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
It probably, never mind. I'm not going to say.
Oh yeah, I know. Everybody knows who I'm referencing when I say that, you know. But anyway,
I know who I got in mind.
Yeah.
It's one team. They're going to protect the rest. I don't want any of the others. I don't.
That's what I'm saying. I want the open roster spot. Do you know what you can get with an open roster spot? You could get someone like a Janelle Salon via free agency.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? Right? Like, be creative, GMs, and I'm sure there are, right? You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, and let's kind of dive into the pros and cons of keeping them. Again, I think we both agree that Veronica Burton is a no-brainer. Duh.
Yeah.
I think the league agrees.
Yeah. She's
I
the
think
point
you and I
guard for them. She's the like engine that's gonna make that run. You know what I mean? Her and Janelle, at least just to start. That's a starting point.
I mean, I've said it multiple times. I don't think I am exaggerating or using hyperbole. I think Veronica Burton is arguably the best point of attack defending point guard in the league. I truly believe that. I truly believe that. And again, while I just said that to emphasize her defense, make no mistake, she is absolutely a two-way point guard. Let me say, right? She's the best point of attack floor general. Is that a good way to describe it? There you go.
I like that too. I mean, some people might debate that. Like, some people might be like, "Oh, well, what about Jackie Young?" It's like, well, is she a point guard or a two guard? Like, you know,
I think she's more of a wing, in my opinion. But whatever. You know,
especially, I would agree.
But
she has her just position, you know what I mean? Like, she's done it when Chelsea went down, but that doesn't mean that that's her best. That's her actual role. You know what I mean? That's not it.
Yeah. So I think you and I are in agreement with Janelle again, right? She just has like that ISO takeover ability.
Yes.
And I say that in a good way, you know. And again, you saw it, you know, in EuroLeague competition and in FIBA competition. I mean, she's definitely not afraid to take the big shot, right? And again, with her length, her size, I mean, she usually gets a good look off, right? And if anything, the Valkyries definitely need to continue, right, building up their offensive firepower. Let's put it that way, right? So she's definitely a big part of that. I know there's a lot of talk about Carla Layton, Yusuke Ochite. To me, I think anyone who does, I'll play nice. I'll play nice. In my opinion, I believe that they are locks. I think Carla, if you're asking me to justify it, I think Natalie Nakase, I definitely trust her. I think a large part of, I mean, it's not like all A to B, B to C, but I do believe part of the reason why the front office felt somewhat okay, like moving on from Julie Von Lowe is in part just because of like, how much Carla was beginning to, again, find a rhythm, find a certain level of comfort and command
Right.
within Nelly Nakase's offense. And I think, again, given how young she is
Yeah.
and how much she is quickly developing, both
Yes.
like last season and we've seen here over in Europe, that I think that there is a lot of optimism with regards to her developmental trajectory. I just, again, for a
All she
player who
needs is her
is,
shot to fall, and it's a wrap.
I mean, again, I think if you look at her mechanics and again her continued improvements,
Mhm.
it just seems like it's all beginning to click. Obviously, her drive, her ability to get to the cup, her rim pressure is what makes her so unique. It's again, as you're saying, right? That pull up, especially in the mid range, right? Which again, she started to really go to and embrace late in the second half of last season. I think that definitely gives her a lot more. How do I want to say? It definitely gives her a lot more command,
Yeah,
right?
I was gonna say cachet.
Oh yeah, there's that too.
Yeah,
Again, I'm trying to
yeah, cool.
phrase it PC.
PC, yeah.
Um, but yeah, with Yusei Ochite, for me, I think this is a no-brainer.
Yeah,
I get for fans who are just maybe either you're not too familiar with her, or it's just because you haven't actually seen her in a Valkyries jersey. It gives you pause to say that she
right.
should be an automatic lock.
Yeah,
But as far as I'm concerned, she is. Again, she's
yeah.
somewhere in like between like the idea of her bridging the gap between Carla and Janelle. I'm
That's
not
what
trying to
I
say
was
that
gonna say.
she's
Janelle
yeah.
from day one to Janelle, like, or game one to Janelle, like game 25, maybe. Like she's somewhere like I wouldn't even say in the middle, and it's just because she hasn't played with the team yet.
Well, no, I'm saying more in the sense that like I feel that she is capable, like she is a playmaking wing.
Mhm.
I think at certain points in her career and during like draft evaluations, there was like some talks about her potentially being like a big point guard. I don't know if
Yeah,
she'll necessarily be exclusively a point. I
yeah,
think she is probably, I mean, if you see her, right, again, her ability to move, right, to shoot off the catch, or like to attack off the catch, to be able to shoot, via relocation, coming off screens, pin downs, flares, you know, um, I wouldn't necessarily call her like just a shooter because
right.
again, when she does attack closeouts, when she does have the ball, like when she's taking up the ball, her ability to kind of like break down her ISO, like her individual one-on-one matchup,
Mhm.
she has some of that playmaking ability in her. Like, will she be showcasing all of it on day one? No, but I think that she could eventually get to that point. And what I'm trying to say is bridging the gap. Like Carla, her production will have to come primarily on ball.
Right.
Janelle's doesn't, even though when you do put the ball in her hands, she'll create something, right? She'll get to
Yeah.
like the elbow
Well, yeah.
or the mid
Or the
post and she'll
wing
do
too. She
something.
she been stepping
Yeah,
out too a little bit.
you stay, in my opinion, is somewhere in the middle there. And again, that's definitely an element the Valkyries haven't had,
Right.
right? Like their shooters last year, which by the way, let's keep in mind that the Valkyries were like what? Like the second worst shooting team, like by 3-point
Yeah,
percentage
but
in
they
the
sh- they
in the
they
league.
they were shooting it though.
They got him up,
They
yeah.
even had
But again,
Monique
I
shooting
think
mid
that's
ranges.
why I think she definitely brings an element that the roster doesn't have. And frankly, I think it's an element that not too many players in the league have. So again, I get it. I understand some fans are a little bit confused, as either confused or a little apprehensive with regards to what her long-term trajectory is. Cause I get it. Like she hasn't actually come over yet,
Right.
and when she does, do we feel confident that we're going to get like that long-term commitment, or is she maybe one of those players who are like, hey, I'm going to come for a season because it works out for my schedule, but maybe the next season, maybe not, put me on the reserve contract list, right? And
Right.
I can't say for certain, but I don't know, for everything that she's expressed, it's just last year again, the team knew that when they drafted her, like
Yeah.
the Eurobasket obligations.
She was a drafting stash.
Yeah, it just made sense for her, and in my opinion, the team's perspective. for her to be a draft and stash. So we shall see. But again, I think from the front office's point of view, I think she's a lock. So now here comes the last one. Now I wrote Ileana Rupert.
Yeah. Because she fits. At least she fit what the team was last season. You know, they're gonna have some missing pieces this time, but she fit what the team ended up becoming. You know what I mean? Like the type of spacing that they needed on the floor and whatnot, like their play style and everything, like she ended up fitting right in. Pretty much
Right.
Day one.
I mean, I think it's easy to make the case for Ileana Rupert and Cecilia Zandolcini.
Yeah.
If I'm going to make, I guess I'll go with Zandolcini first, even though I didn't pick her. And I've gotten, like I said, I've gone back and forth as to whether or not it should be Chechi or Ileana. But with Zandolcini,
I'm surprised you didn't have Caitlyn in there, Caitlyn Chen.
We're only protecting 5.
I kind of, I mean, instead of Ileana, because I thought about
No.
Caitlyn Chen too, Caitlyn and Maria. But I mean, with Carla Late backing up Veronica, like I understand, like you don't really need another guard, you know what I mean, like a point guard. But I don't know, bro. I don't know. One goes down, then what? You know what I mean?
Again, let's. I'm okay. I'm gonna be trying to be nice here.
Their roster was.
I'm gonna try to be nice here.
No, don't be
just
nice.
Because
be
someone, just because the coaching staff was able to get the most
out of,
arguably getting the most out of their players, doesn't mean that this was the template for success. Like simply put, if fans have like dreams of upgrading this roster via free agency, that means players are inevitably not going to come back.
Right.
Now, I am not against any of our players coming back, but I think we could all agree that definitely in the front court, we needed to improve with regards to size and having an interior presence.
Yeah.
And with regards to the backcourt and the wing, we need either more consistent shooters, like actual legitimately consistent 3-point shooters, not fake shooters. Not fake shooters. I don't need a shooter. I don't need a wing who puts up 16 threes and only makes 3 of them. Okay. I'm sorry, not to throw shade, but like you see what I'm saying, right? Like, and I think the front office is willing to pay a premium for that caliber of player, assuming they're not already under contract, you know. And same thing with any position, really. Like, again, I appreciate how much all the players gave to this team, but I think it's fair to say the Valkyries, if you're looking at it from the front office perspective, they should be looking right to find an improvement if there is one available. And I feel that especially if you're bringing Veronica Burton and Carla Late back, I don't think Caitlyn Chen would be as much of a priority. And again, I'm totally open to her coming back. And again, remember, only 2 players who are unprotected will be leaving. So there's a good chance. I mean, if she gets drafted, cool. But again, some of these players, I'm sure there's going to be like some mutual interest to return. So we'll see. But with Cecilia, I mean, I think Zandolcini, not only is she literally one of the best shooters in the dub, but specifically after Eurobasket and because of a number of injuries to the Valkyries roster, Chechi was inserted into the starting lineup. And she and Janelle were essentially alternating playing the 3 and the 4. Like they were basically just interchanging. And they ran the exact same sets for both of them at the same time. It looked awesome. It was fun. But again,
we were watching that closely.
Right. And make no mistake, I think she definitely brings a certain level of dynamism to this team that they need. Now, the thing is she is 30, right? And she has had her own kind of like injury history, you know? So I'm just saying, like, again, postseason, she wasn't available. And I'm not just going to like put that, like her availability as a con. I'm just saying though, that if we're looking at it, Ileana has the ability to play kind of like, the 4 and the 5. She's a stretch 4, stretch 5. She too is one of the best shooters in the dub. Our friends at Cerebro, they have their all-in-one metric 3PE. 3PE basically combines both 3-point efficiency, your 3-point percentage, and your volume. Would you care to guess who led the dub last year in 3PE?
Cecilia?
Actually, no. At one point, they were 1 and 2. Chitalia, I think she finished the season as like 6th in 3PE.
Chitalia, let me say her name correctly.
Yeah. So, it was Ileana Rupert.
Whoa.
Yeah. And again,
I didn't know
right? Make no mistake. I've been talking to other people about this. I do think that the Valkyries will be looking to, be aggressive in terms of adding to the front court, specifically at center.
Yeah.
But I think there's still a place for Ileana Rupert. I don't think, right? Like, for example, if Azurá Stevens is going to get paid big bucks to be a stretch 4, stretch 5, why am I going to let my stretch 4, stretch 5, who's already in-house, go?
Right.
From a basic supply and demand perspective, like, I feel like there's just, and again, Ileana, I believe, is what, 24, going on 25.
Yeah, they're all young. That's why I think that keeping those 5 in particular, you have something in play. You have a like core. That's the core going forward. You know what I mean? Like they're going to grow together, and then you plug in around them.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so
it's a no-brainer to me.
Yeah, so that's why I have Ileana Rupert. I've seen other people say Chichelia. I think it could go either way. That's just my personal preference. And as for Maria Conde, I think
she'll be available because
I think she'll get drafted.
You think so?
If we don't protect, I think so. For the same reason, like I said to you, the same reason that the Valkyries drafted her in the first place. Remember, with the expansion draft, it's your opportunity not just to basically bring in players for training camp. You're trying to build up your war chest. You're trying to build up your team's pool of assets. So that's what I'm saying. Even if Maria Conde says, you know what, I'm not sure I'm going to come over this season. Maybe it's again another year, and then I'll come over next year.
Yeah.
Again, right? There are only 12 roster spots. Portland and Toronto will each have 3 draft picks. If I'm picking a player,
2 developmental 2 spots now.
Yeah, but if I'm picking a player like, say, like a Maria Conde, right, who has a lot of tantalizing upside, right, but she's not coming over immediately, that's not the worst thing in the world. Again, you're preventing a roster log jam from happening. You know, this is how, like, in my opinion, like, this is how, forward-thinking front offices are always kind of like, like almost like ahead of the curve, right? New York, right? They have all these players under, like, reserved contracts, right? Who they can start to kind of gradually bring over when they know they're going to lose players. They're inevitably going to lose players in free agency. So I do think that Toronto and Portland would have some interest in Maria Conde. I would be shocked I wouldn't say shocked, but I feel like she would be one to go.
So I have a question.
Sure.
If it was Maria Conde or Jay Melbourne, who would you choose?
But they're not both Valkyries.
No, I mean just in the draft, just in general. Like if you had to choose one of them to be your point guard of the future, which one would you choose?
Maria's a wing.
I mean, but she could push.
Yeah, but I'm not trying to like dance around your question, but I don't think this is very much apples and oranges here. But
like a push, I just feel like she could push. She can play make from her position rather. Like you can. I don't know. Maybe I'm too off into the positionless basketball. It's not necessarily that in the W like it is in the NBA.
She's not a point guard.
Yeah,
let's put it that way. She can push and transition.
Crafty. She's so crafty.
No, and that's why I'm saying I would prefer that she be a Valkyrie, but I don't think it's gonna happen unless.
I mean,
again, This is 2020. No, I'm not saying this is gonna happen. It's just again a random thought I've had, like kind of lingering. Like this is 2026. It's not 1996.
Yeah.
You know. So what I'm trying to say is, there's a lot more direct communication with international players. At least there's an opportunity for more direct communication, right? You know, friend of the show, Alfred Coriete, right? Remember what he was telling us about?
Alfred.
Yeah, about Jonathan Kolb, you know, with the New York Liberty.
Yeah.
That it's not like if he drafts these international draft and stash players, it's not like, hi, I drafted you and I'll see you, or, you know, talk to you in 3 years. No,
Right.
there's consistent communication, right?
Mm-hmm.
If Maria Conde perhaps had her sights on playing, you know, like she, let's just say hypothetically, she wanted to play, if she were to come to the Dub, she wanted to play specifically for the Valks. She and her representation in theory could say like, hey, Toronto and Portland, like you could draft me, but I don't really plan on coming over anytime soon. There could be some gamesmanship on her and her agent's part.
Right.
You know, we've seen that before from certain international players, both in the WNBA and the MNBA, where they're like, you know, you could draft me, but I'm probably not coming over for a couple of years. You know, and then they end up going to another team like, okay, I'm going to come a little bit sooner. Right. You know, so in theory, I don't know if that's necessarily going to discourage Toronto or Portland from taking her. But
I think the CBA will change that dynamic too, though. Like, I think a lot of players now seeing what the just minimum contracts will be, they're coming now. You know what I mean? Because they could make that money overseas in that same type of span of time. So, if not more, you know what I mean? So, I think that they'll be more enticed a little bit in like competing, especially like the good players like a Emma Meeseman and whatnot. Like, they're coming for those contracts now because they're going to get paid if they come over here. And instead of having to be obligated to their teams overseas and then come later on, they're going to come so they don't get hit with the how they word it, the P word, where they have to come over
prioritization
within 5 games. Prioritization. Yeah, exactly. The prioritization rules, like they'll be here. Trust. It's going to be like a huge competition now, I think.
So, but if for me, I think if those are like, let's just say hypothetically, or like for sake of this discussion, the 5 players protected are the ones that we just listed, or I just listed, you know, assuming you agree with my list.
Oh yeah, I do.
Then in my opinion, I think the 2 players who are going to get drafted, I'm going to stick with Cecilia Zandolacini and Maria Conde.
Yeah. Easily.
Maybe Leticia Amir.
I wanted to actually. I thought about including her in the protected players, but it's just like it depends on what you're trying to build. You know what I mean? And with those 5 that we both have, because we got the same list. Like I got the same 5, and it's from what I've seen Natalie put together how she wants to play. They fit that, you know what I mean? Whereas Leticia, not necessarily as much, like unless you're trying to get somebody who can like play scrappy a little bit and get to the cup like she does, but just relying on her shooting, like I don't know if you just do that, like because this team needs to, like you said, improve from distance. And if they improve from distance, it would be a night and day difference. They already like really, they're the best expansion team ever to debut.
Right.
You know what I mean? So imagine if they made like 5 to 7% more of their 3-point shots over the course of the season. Like that's a huge difference.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it really depends what Toronto and Portland want to do. If I were them, and again, you know, like we each have our preference of how we'd want to go starting out an expansion roster.
Yeah.
But I would target youth. So that's kind of why I say, okay, well, maybe a Mihir would have like a more appeal as opposed to a veteran, an old, you know, like not that she's old, but like an older veteran, like, you know, Zandolacini. And even Maria Conde, right? She's 29. You know, so like, hey, right, maybe we want someone, and again, right, a Mihir, even Kate Martin, right, they're still on their first contracts, right, so there's a little bit more of an appeal there,
right?
If that's kind of the direction you want to go. But I mean, I just think, again, I think we know where the Valkyries want to go. I think we know what they want to achieve. So I think that's kind of like why personally I haven't been as like worried about players being selected in the expansion draft. Yeah, I think the ones that we know that we really envision being a part of this team for, let's say, like, I don't know, right? Like the next 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of going off of contract lengths, right? Like
Yeah.
I feel like they're going to be protected. Like they're going to be protected. So yeah, man. I don't know. Any additional thoughts as it pertains to the Valkyries?
No, I mean I agree. I got the same list. I'm just wondering who that is unrestricted is going to want to stay here, because did they actually set some roots there? Did they
Oh,
actually
okay.
love like how the organization is, how the fans are, like just everything about the Valkyries top to bottom, from just organization to the players to the camaraderie to just we were talking about it all season. Like it was a collection of 6 players. You know what I mean? It was a collection of role players that got the chance to actually show how much more they had going on with themselves. And it's like, do you walk away from that and go back to potentially being a role player, or do you stay here and like sow roots, and go forward, sowing those roots with the Valkyries?
I mean,
If they want you, if they
of
want you.
the unrestricted free agents, and I know we actually kind of we kind of glossed over it because we went right to the players that we're protecting. We did not mention Kayla Thornton, right?
Yes,
So
exactly.
to be clear, Michael, I think you and I are on the same page about this, but for our audience, I do believe the Valkyries absolutely, like the Valkyries front office ownership, Natalie Nakase, the coaching staff, they absolutely value Kayla Thornton.
Yes.
And I do believe they will be aggressive in retaining her and bringing her back, but via free agency.
Right.
You see, going back to that, what we were talking about, protecting an unrestricted free agent, right?
Yeah, and just so y'all know, we didn't talk about this beforehand. This is off the top, like this is fresh.
Oh no, I mean I've already been discussing it with other people, so forgive me, all right?
No,
if I thought I discussed it with you, but
value Kayla Thornton.
no, with KT, the thing is again, if you are protecting, if you are again one of the current 13 teams, the motivation of protecting an unrestricted free agent is that you don't want to basically be outbid
right
by one of the expansion teams.
Yeah.
But again, from the expansion team's point of view, the incentive of drafting an unrestricted free agent is having the opportunity to offer that unrestricted free agent a super max contract.
Yeah.
But again, this is where they have to be more calculated in it, in the sense that is the unrestricted free agent I'm drafting, are they actually a super max player?
Right.
Now, I'm not trying to determine what a player should make or not make. I'm simply saying that I think at Kayla Thorne's age and coming off of her knee injury,
yeah,
I just don't think her market value across the league is that of a supermax player. Make no mistake, I'm not saying she's a minimum. I think the Valkyries have every intention of compensating her fairly. I think she'll get a very sizable deal. But again, if she's not a supermax, then the Valkyries aren't being outbid, right? So that's why I'm saying I think a lot of teams, like, they won't be protecting as many of their unrestricted free agents that aren't obvious supermax players. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So I feel confident. I feel confident KT will return. They're just going to sign her outright, like as a free agent.
It's funny that we're talking about her, and I just got done looking at all our content on YouTube, and I seen the post KT era, and I was just paying attention to what didn't have East meets West across it some type of way. I had post KT era on there, and it was like East meets West wasn't on the profile picture or whatever, the picture that's the preview.
Cut off.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it got cut off. It wasn't on the preview because I was doing it for my phone. But I just looked at that and I thought about KT.
All the kudos, all the credit for our graphics work goes to MJ. So
hey, no, that's not all the way true. Sometimes I ask you what to do, so it's not just me.
I give you an idea. You actually do it. So, I mean, you're saying like. But other than that, I mean, I don't know. I feel like it'll be interesting. I'm the one I'm most curious about is Monique Billings.
Yeah.
Just because I think like her stint on Team USA, and Unrivaled,
Yeah.
like her stock's really high right now.
Yeah.
Right. I think there's a lot of interest in her around the league. But again, going back to your point, she'd be
Especially
going back to like a smaller defined role.
mm-hmm.
You know, now that might not necessarily be a bad thing. You know, like sometimes less is more. I'm just saying that. Yeah, I'm with you. I think she will have a lot of suitors. I think there will be a lot of people looking for her services. Temmie, I'm not so
Especially
sure. I
all
think
the
there is
bigs
interest
that are
in
coming
Temmie.
to the game. Yeah, Monique. And go ahead. My bad.
Well, I think Monique, again, you saw just like how obviously you saw her rapport with Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
You know, I think there's like some enthusiasm. I think the Fever are looking to add another big, someone who's a little bit more. Well, I mean, obviously, Aaliyah Boston is a fantastic pick and roll pick. I'm
Yes.
saying like adding another one off the bench, right?
Even that for Aaliyah, because like Aaliyah played with Kiki Ariafin in Unrivaled, like so you give her another kind of bullyish kind of big behind her, like oh god.
Yeah. So those are the ones I'm curious about. Temmie, I think Temmie's there's going to be a market for her. We'll see. Again,
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what happens because again, I think the Valkyries are definitely, I would assume, center, like a real, you know, like again, our centers last year did great in what they were capable of doing.
Yeah.
Right. But we have like no interior scores.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
not really.
we didn't really have consistent rim protection. I like what Temmie did, you know, really, really light on her feet, you know, again, being able to kind of move in space, but
especially when she left, it was glaring when she left.
Yeah.
Like, it changed.
Yeah. So we'll see. But yeah, it'll be interesting. But I think, I don't know. In my opinion, if you're a Valkyries fan, I think there's just so much more. There's so many avenues to improving this team, even after, you know, like after the expansion draft. I feel like, you know, like you should feel good.
Yeah, free agency is going to be there. I mean, we might as well still consider them in like they're in the expansion now, just minus the draft. You know what I mean? And now is their chance to after they had the chance to actually show what they're doing, have people see what their coach is about, the organization, what the city is like out there, the fans. So it's an attractive destination. Trust. You know what I mean? Like they are an attractive destination. I think. Shout out to Portland too, but I think Toronto will be attractive. I know Golden State will be attractive for sure. Portland is going to be a wild card because it's going to be a matter of who they do pick up and then who can they attract. I think Portland will probably get a supermax player that potentially needs like a Jewel Lloyd or something, like to just like really anchor that team. You know what I mean?
See, there you go. If they were to draft someone like that,
yeah, I think
and
she's
offer them like a 1 year, a short-term supermax deal.
Yeah,
that makes sense. But again, I'm not. In no way am I trying to throw
cap on
shade.
nobody. No,
Yeah,
no, that's
in
not
no way
cap.
am I trying to throw shade at KT. I don't think she fits, you know, like that mold of like what those teams would be looking for. Like I'm with you, like a Jewel Lloyd, maybe like Arike if she were to be unprotected.
Arike
you know,
too.
Someone like that, like kind of like an alpha, like you know, player.
I know what you mean. Like a Jewel, like a Arike. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I just think Toronto is just a attractive destination just because it's Toronto. And Golden State got a chance to show themselves. Portland, to me, will be the wild card. And then Toronto has Sandy Brondello. You know what I mean? So it's just like they already have like their coach in place. So it's, I mean, like a coach that has like just a resume, a full WNBA resume. You know what I mean?
I mean, as far as I know, and we've talked about this, like at least internally, you and I have talked about this before we sign off. I've just kind of been thinking, at least for the time being, right now, we're adding 2 teams.
Yeah.
But the playoff format is still the same as far as we know, right? Which is basically eight teams. 8 teams. So in a weird way, like you're kind of, and especially since we know who's going to be eligible for next year's draft, like there is kind of some incentive to tank if you're not a real contender. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
if you're Portland and Toronto, like, you should be okay not being a bubble playoff team.
Mhm.
Because, I mean, again, if Miss Juju Watkins is declaring next year, like, I mean, like, dude, right?
Man.
Now, who knows? Maybe she'll accept her redshirt year. I don't know, right?
Yeah,
But
that's
I
what I
mean,
was
like,
gonna say. Like, is she gonna do that? But
but
I
even
mean,
then, the
she's
point still
she's
remains.
making like what is it 8 mil or 10 mil NIL money? Like she doesn't have to come
I'm
over
saying
here.
as we continue to add more teams, there's less incentive to try to chase an 8 seed
Yeah,
in the playoffs, right? Or you
yeah,
could make an argument there's just more incentive. Let's put it as a positive. There's more an affirmative, I should say, statement. There's
yeah.
more incentive
To
to
tank.
just going into the lottery, you
Yeah,
know? So we'll see. We'll see.
yeah.
So
Any last thoughts from you, or is
no,
that
that's it.
it?
I mean,
That's it.
obviously, again, the expansion draft is on Friday, April 3rd. So we'll know.
Mhm.
Well, at the very least, we'll know who's staying because technically they don't publicly release the list of who is protected and unprotected. You just know, obviously, you know you're unprotected if you get drafted, but
Right.
like at least to the fans, like we don't actually know for
The
sure.
WNBA is so secretive. It's like, oh, the injury to Leah Boston. Oh, it's a lower extremity injury.
Yeah.
They don't
Well,
ever just be like, yeah, she got this going on with her knee or her quad or something like that. They don't never tell us.
yeah.
We just
All
see them in
right.
the cast or something like that. Yeah. But you guys make sure y'all keep up with everything going on in the W. Like he said, man, it's a lot coming up, man. Like, so just get ready. We probably gonna be hitting y'all, just hitting with content. Make sure y'all get the subs up, share this, like, comment, tap in. Let us know if y'all want us to talk about something specific, or throw your little comments and let us know how y'all feel about who should be protected from your team or from the Valkyries. Let us know. And follow us. You see the names at the bottom. I know you do. Follow us on Twitter. And thank y'all. Have a good night, good time, good weekend, all that. And make sure y'all tune into this Final Four. It's gonna be, and don't sleep on Michigan, damn it. All right, we out.